Very good morning, students, and welcome back to your English class. Today, we are going to take the 8th chapter, Mystery at Sea. Okay, take page number 76. In the summer of 1866, strange things began to take place in the ocean after world ships reported seeing a huge creature that no one had ever seen before. Some of the ships actually collided with this creature. One ship even had its iron hull pierced right through in an encounter with the sea monster. The chapter starts by saying an incident that happened in 1866 during the summer. Okay, there were strange things that have been taking place in the ocean. What was that? The world ships has reported that they are seeing a huge creature in the ocean that no one had ever seen before. And some of the ships had collided with this creature. Collided means dashed or struck against it. Okay, one ship even had its iron hull. Iron hull means the main body of a ship which floats in the water. It pierced right through in an encounter, means an unexpected event with the sea monster. Professor Pierre Aronnax was an expert on the sea and its creatures. When asked about the sea monster, the professor's guess was that the creature was a giant narwhal. Narwhal means a rare type of whale. Okay, there was a professor. What was his name? Pierre Aronnax. He knows very well about sea and the sea creatures. Okay, the animals that live in the sea. And when they asked about it, what was the creature, what he did, he told Higgins that it was a giant narwhal. Narwhal means it's a kind of whale or it's a rare type of whale. It has a long tooth and it's found mostly in the waters of the Arctic Ocean. Okay, now since the monster was such a hazard, preparations were made to capture it. A ship was prepared to go in search of the creature. Professor Aronnax was also to be a part of the expedition. Now, hazard means danger or risk. Now, it is very dangerous for the travelers in the sea. Okay, now all are preparing to catch it or to capture it. Now, a ship was also sent to the sea in search of the creature. And who was also there? Professor Aronnax, who was an expert on the sea and its creatures, was also there. He was also the part of the expedition. Okay, for 3 months the ship had been searching the ocean, but they had not spotted the monster yet. By the end of that time, the crew felt discouraged and supplies were running low. Their captain asked them to be patient for 3 more days. If the monster was not spotted in that time, the captain would agree to return home. And how long they had searched for the monster in the ocean? They had searched for 3 months, okay, and they didn't find the monster. And by the end of the time, all went discouraged. All are feeling discouraged. Discouraged means they are hopeless. They don't have a hope in finding the monster. And every food supplies was running low. It was about to finish. They were not having enough food for the survival. Now the captain of the ship told the others in the ship to be patient, to wait for 3 more days. And if they didn't find the monster in these 3 days, he will return home. He will be ready to return home. 2 days passed without a sign of the monster. On the third day at 8 in the evening, Professor Aronnax stood looking out to the sea with his assistant Conceal. The moon was low on the horizon and the sea was calm. Now, the captain had told them, the passengers or the other crew members on the ship, to wait for 3 days, right? Now, after 2 days, since 2 days there were no evidence of the monster. Now, after 2 days, on the last day, Professor Aronnax was standing there and looking onto the sea with his assistant. What was his name? Conseil. And the sea was calm at that time. Well, so said Conseil, it looks as if we will have to return empty-handed. Yes, replied the professor, I will look a bit of a fool now, won't I? But sir, began Conseil. You only. Conseil did not have time to complete his sentence. They heard a bellow from the lookout at the top of the mast. Look out there, the beast out there of the starboard bow. Now, Professor Aronnax is talking with his assistant, Conseil. He is telling that they will have to return empty handed. And Professor is feeling very sad that they could not find the monster. Now, Conseil, his assistant, was about to say something. At that time, while he was trying to talk, they heard a shout from the lookout. Lookout means it is the person who has the responsibility on the ship of watching danger. Now, he is shouting that they have seen the beast there. Everyone ran to the side of the ship and stared out to sea. There, before their eyes, was the monster they had been looking for. It was on the surface of the sea, an enormous creature with two blazing eyes that cast an eerie glow on the water. Now, everyone went to the side that the lookout means the man who was looking for the danger in the sea. When he told that, everyone ran to the side of the ship and they saw the eyes of the monster they have been looking for, and it was on the surface of the sea. It was having two blazing eyes that cast an eerie glow. Eerie means strange and frightening glow on the water. The captain ordered his crew to cut the engines. Suddenly, the monster moved towards the ship. Professor Aronnax stared in amazement. The creature cut through the water with at such great speed that he was sure that it would ram into their ship, but it stopped some distance away from the ship before diving down beneath the waves and reappearing on the other side. The creature then began to move away from the ship. The captain now ordered his men to go in pursuit. All night they chased the creature, but the monster always stayed out of reach. Now, the captain of the ship ordered his crew members or the co-passengers to cut the engines meant to switch off the engines. Now, the monster is coming towards the ship. Suddenly, the monster was coming towards the ship, and the Professor Aronnax, he was staring, he was in complete amazement. Now, but he thought that the creature would ram or it will damage the ship. But what happened? It stopped at distant, a distance away from the ship, and it dived into the sea and it reappeared on the other side. Then the creature began to move away from the ship. Then it moved away from the ship. The captain now ordered his men to go on pursuit. To go on pursuit means to chase someone or something. Now they are trying to chase the creature. But all night they chased the creature, but the monster always stayed out of reach. They could not find that, or they were not able to catch it. When morning broke, they saw that the creature had stopped and lay motionless in the water. The ship slowly approached the creature despite the risk. Everyone held their breath. As the ship crept closer and closer to the monster, the crew readied a sharp harpoon to throw at the beast. "Now!" cried the captain. The harpoon shot into the air and landed on the creature with a thud. It was as if had struck something hard. Suddenly the ship shook from end to end. "What's happening?" roared the captain. The next morning they had found the creature. It was laying motionless in the water. Now the ship slowly approached near the creature, and despite thinking of the risk, what they did, they came closer to the monster and harpoon means a long thin weapon with a sharp pointed end and a rope tied to it that is used to catch large sea animals. You can see a harpoon in this picture. Okay, you can see it. And they have thrown a harpoon to the beast. Now, what happened? It struck on the creature, and the ship started shaking. The ship was shaking from end to end. Now the captain is asking what's happening. All the sailors fell over the decks and one of the masts came tumbling down. Professor Aronnax and Conseil were thrown into the ocean. Now the ship was shaking and all the sailors fell down on the decks, over the decks, and everything is falling down and Professor Aronnax and Conseil, his assistant Conseil, were thrown to the ocean. "Help, help," they shouted when they came to the surface of the water. They tried to swim towards the ship, but could not make progress because of their heavy clothes. Now, when they came out of the water, out of the surface of the water, they are shouting to help, that they need some help. Now they are trying to swim to the towards the ship, but they could not make progress. Means move forward. Now, but they cannot reach the ship so fastly as they thought because they are wearing heavy clothes. They realized that the monster had struck the ship a fearsome blow, and the ship was sinking for hours on end. They kept themselves afloat, occasionally calling out for help. They were thoroughly exhausted. Conseil had just enough energy to call out once more. This time they heard a faint reply. They moved towards the voice. Suddenly, the professor felt his body hit something hard and he lost consciousness. Now they had realized when they had thrown the harpoon, the creature or the monster had struck the ship with fearsome blow. Fearsome means frightening. Okay, for hours on end means for many hours they kept floating on the sea and they occasionally calling out for help. They are calling for help. They were thoroughly exhausted, means they were very tired. They were have been floating in the sea for hours, right? So they are feeling very tired. Conseil had just enough energy to call out once more. He was not having much energy because he was very tired. This time they heard a faint reply. They moved towards the voice. Suddenly the professor felt his body hit something hard and he lost consciousness. Now he realized Professor Aronnax realized that he had hit his body has hit something hard. and he fainted. When the professor came to his senses, he saw Conseil and the familiar face of a crew member bending over him. Ned, he cried, you have come to our rescue? Now, when uh, once the professor fainted, right? Now, when he opened his eyes after coming to senses, he saw and Conseil, his assistant, and a familiar face of a crew member of the ship. They were bending over him. Ned, he called the other man. You have come to our rescue? Well, I don't know if I have rescued you or not. I was thrown into the ocean just like you were when the creature hit our ship, but I landed on a floating island on the back of the beast we were trying to capture. The very beast we are resting on right now. This beast is made out of sheet iron. It's a ship if ever I saw one, but it's the strangest ship I have ever laid eyes on. Ned, one of the crew member of the ship, is telling Professor that he don't know whether he had rescued them or not, because he was also thrown into the ocean just like them. And now they are landing. They are landed on the floated island on the same beast they have been chasing. They are floating or they are landed on the same beast they have been searching. Actually, it is not the monster. What was that? It was a submarine named Nautilus. The three men had landed on a submarine, the Nautilus, designed, built, and commanded by the mysterious Captain Nemo. The captain takes the men as his prisoners but allows them to move freely within his ship. What follows is a long underwater adventure, 20,000 leagues under the sea, in which the Nautilus explores the entire ocean world and the sea floor beneath. How the men finally escape from the Nautilus forms the rest of the story. Here, actually, what the creature they have been searching for was a submarine which was commanded by Captain Nemo, and the name of the submarine is Nautilus. Okay, this abridged from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Julius Verne. Okay, that's all about the story. Take page number 81. The crew of the ship had been searching for the monster for 3 months. There, before their eyes, was the monster they had been looking for. The words in color are in the past perfect continuous tense. We use the past perfect continuous tense to see something had been happening for a period of time before something else happened. Means in past perfect continuous tense, we tell about something that began in the past, that continued in the past, and that ended in the past. Okay, he had been living in Dehradun for a long time before he came to shipping. Okay, we use the form had been plus ing form of the verb to use this tense. Means in past perfect continuous tense we use had been plus ing form of the verb. Okay, now complete the sentences with the past perfect continuous tense forms of the words in the brackets. Here there are the verbs given in the bracket and you have to complete the sentences below with the past perfect continuous tense forms. Now read the sentence. Use the clause in the brackets to write a sentence in the past perfect continuous tense in your notebook. Okay, here are some clause in the bracket and you have to write a whole sentence using the clause in the form past perfect continuous tense form. Okay, you have to write it in your notebook. Okay. Now, after reading the chapter very well, you have to find two words or phrases in the text that mean hit or dash with force. One has been done for you. One example is given for you. Collide, it is given in the text. What does it mean? Hit or dash with force. Okay, you have to find one more word. That means hit O dash with force. You have to find it from the textbook. Okay, here are some more words, and you have to find the words from the chapter. That means hit or dash with force, a wild creature, danger, shout, go after, or track down. You have to find two words or phrases from the chapter. Now, note making is an important study skill. It helps us to remember the main points from the text we read. It also helps us to make summaries, and this helps in revision. Notes are usually short. They identify the main points in a text. Notes are written only in phrases and not complete sentences. They should list information in a clear manner. Information is divided and subdivided by using numbers and letters. The division are made like this: main sections 1, 2, 3, and so on, subsections 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, and so on. Now, read this passage and complete the notes. Okay, here is the passage given, and you have to complete a notes that is given in page number 83. Okay, after reading that the passage, you have to do it by yourself. Okay, you should all of you should do this, and you have to send it to me. Okay, that's all about the class. Thank you.